Hi guys, it's DW Boy 4000 and George, and welcome back to a very special video which I've been looking forward to for months and months and months, and that is the return of Doctor Who. So it's Doctor Who time, also time for me, 6:30 in the morning. So sorry about the lighting. I'm going to be filming 2 more videos today. Skip this party if you want, but I'm filming 2 more videos today. So I'll try and get some better lighting and I'll try and find a better place. But 6:30 in the morning, you have to just deal with me for now. So, what did I think of this episode? The Halloween Apocalypse. I thought the name was quite good, but quite cheesy at the same time. So that was quite nice. And this felt like Doctor Who. This is the first Chris General episode that is done. So Series 11, Series 12, now in Series 13. This is the first episode that felt like Doctor Who, and felt good. It was a good episode of the show itself. So I'm gonna do things in order: Doctor, companions, aliens, the plot. Just go across like that. So first, let's start with Jodie. She's not really changed, which is disappointing at the moment. I want to see a darker side of Jodie's Doctor, because I know Jodie can do it. It's Chris Chibnall and he's rubbish writing, so thank God he's left. But yeah, she was good. I just want to see a darker side to a Doctor, and she was good in this episode as well. And had more chemistry with Yaz as a companion. Moving on to the companions, we had Yaz, who seemed to have an upgrade, a bitchy upgrade, but an upgrade. So, God, this lighting's terrible. I'm sorry. So Yaz, bit of a bitchy upgrade, but she has an upgrade, so she can fly the TARDIS out and actually do things in the TARDIS with the Doctor, which is nice to see. But she seems to be a lot more complaining and stuck up now for some reason. So, I don't know what the time gap was between the last time we saw the Doctor and Yaz in Series 12 to now. I don't know the gap in that. There might be a big gap for like Big Finish and things like that. But we do know there is probably a little bit of a gap from what they were saying in the episode. So yeah, she's getting more character development, which is nice. But then we have the brand new companion Dan, who is played by John Bishop. Now, I hoped for him when he was cast, because you had Catherine Tate, who is a comedian. You had Nardo, who's played by Matt Lucas. There we go. They're both companions, and they were both really good as companions as well. So, being that John Bishop was a comedian, I was hoping he would be good, and he was. He was one of my favourite bits of the episode. We'll get onto the aliens in a bit later, but I do want to talk about him and the Carvanista, the big dog thing that kind of looks like uh, the bear from Rainbow. I'll probably put the bear from Rainbow around me here. And if you older of you will probably recognise him as Bungle. And that's all I could think of during the episode, because the Carvanista Bungle. I'm just gonna call him Bungle because it's more funny to me. So you had Bungle and Dan, basically having banter back and forth and arguing, and it was quite funny the way that they did it, and it was more funny to me because I was just thinking of him as a massive a bungle bear basically. Um, but yeah, that was good. Dan as a character is good. He's basically a man from Liverpool who likes to help out his community, but he's basically very poor himself. Like he, he had no food or anything in his cupboards. Basically, they showed it in one of the shots. So I'm I'm guessing that he is basically broken poor and just tries to help out his community. But yeah, he was good during the episode. He didn't do a lot so far. We got introduced to his sort of his girlfriend, uh, who seemed good. I can't think of her name. I think it's Diane. I think her name's Diane, but she was okay. We didn't see a lot of her. We did get to see her with I think it was a weeping angel, because there's two different women in this episode which look very similar to each other. One had been taken out. I don't think it was Diane. And sorry, I've just remembered. So Diane got mind controlled to go into this house where um, Swarm's sister was it? I can't think of her name because it's a weird name. But they're like the crystally based creatures, the blue people. You know what I mean because you've probably watched the episode. But she got mind controlled into this like, house, which did look like a house of horror, which was quite nice to go with the Halloween Apocalypse name. So that's the last time we saw her. And then going back to the Weeping Angel, we saw another woman who had been taken back in time before by an angel, and then come to present day, and then back in time by an angel in this episode. So we'll find that out about that in episode 4, I think, Village of the Weeping Angels. So that should be interesting. We had a little appearance by the Sontarans as well in their new design, and I really like the look of this design so far. I wish they had the voices more like the Russell, the Russell T Davies Sontarans, because I think that voice suits them a lot more than the classic era ones and these ones now. Even though Dan Starkey, who was I think he was the main RTD Sontaran, basically being Strax. So we got used to hearing his voice, and now he's still playing a Sontaran, but he does sound a bit different. If he was one of these two Sontarans in this little scene, but it was quite a funny scene when you watch it. So there's still got that nice sense of humour to him, which I quite like. I'm just trying to think what else with the episode. Yes, there's quite a lot. So, the Flux itself and Swarm. Now, Swarm seems to be the main villain for this series. We don't know a lot about him yet. People are speculating that he's a Time Lord and things like that, with ancient Gallifrey. Where that could be possible, but I think he is just an alien that was captured by the Division because they were back. Even though I despise the Timeless Child, and the Division is part of that. That was the way that they linked into the story. So the Division were keeping Swarm captive, and then Swarm escaped, killing the two guards. And he seems a good villain so far. A trailer was released today, which he sounded quite weird in it, saying he wanted it to rain in hell. But that looks like it's from the Sontaran episode, which is when I'm filming this tomorrow, because I meant to film this days ago, but I completely missed my mark. I was doing other videos, basically getting ready for some exciting things. But back to the episode. So he escaped, and it looks like he's going to be facing the Doctor as normal. People thinking when they first saw him that it could have been a new version of a Decayed Master, like Jeffrey Beaver's Master, basically. But no, Swarm, and he seems a good villain. Definitely better than Tim Shaw with teeth in his face. Still can't get over that, even though it was a good design. Two more things. First is the TARDIS, and there was rumours going about a couple of months ago saying the TARDIS was dying, basically, and it's looking like these rumours are coming true at this point, because you had this black ooze melting one of the crystals that go over the console, and then the door of the TARDIS was going into the floor and into the other side of the TARDIS, and so it looks like the TARDIS is glitching out or trying to defend itself somehow, or it is dying. Maybe the flux has caused it to die, or it's going after the Eye of Harmony, so it's affecting the Eye of Harmony, which is killing the TARDIS, so and so and so. But I think this could be a good idea. I'm not a fan of the resolution if it is going to come true, how they'll go back to Agent Gallifrey to get a cure, and that will lead into Timeless Child stuff. Which, if you watch the channel, Timeless Child, no thank you. But yeah, it seems like he's trying to defend himself, or it is dying somehow. Which I think will be a good plot point. One thing I do want to mention though, which I forgot about, is for the start of this episode, because they filmed a lot of this in COVID. They filmed in front of this giant green screen, and a lot of people were bringing this up when the Doctor and Yaz were hanging upside down. The CGI looked terrible, and I have to agree, it did look quite bad, unfortunately. But then it turns out the Carvanista or Bungle, looks like his race is going to come in and kill or basically destroy Earth, because they're one of the most deadly war races or something like that in the universe. But they've got these anti-flux ships, and they've got 7 billion of them to save each and every human, basically. But it turns out how they're coming to save all the humans, and then we get to the flux. And so, because the Carvanista have these anti-flux ships, the flux is headed towards Earth, and the flux is basically destroying the whole universe and just obliterates planets in its way. That's all we really know about it. But it looks quite a good villain. One thing that I thought was really good is the Doctor opened up the TARDIS, and if you've watched Bad Wolf and Parting of Ways, the same residue, I can't think of the word for it, and it's bugging me because I know it. I think it's alternate energy. I might be wrong. I think it's alternate energy. Goes into Rose, and basically that's how she destroys the entire Dalek fleet. While the 13th Doctor opens up the TARDIS to let it attack the flux, basically, and it does nothing at all. And I really like that, because being able to destroy entire Dalek fleets and it did nothing at all to the flux, it makes it a very, very dangerous threat, which is nice because we finally get some threats in Doctor again, because we haven't had that in the whole of Jodie's run, really. But yeah, overall, really good episode, and it was left on a great cliffhanger with the Doctor saying, "I wonder what the end of the universe would feel like." With the TARDIS basically sucked in by the flux and the carbonation basically shielding the entire Earth. A very good cliffhanger. And next we've got War of the Suntarans, which is out tomorrow night. Because I'm filming this on Saturday morning, and it's Sunday night. As I was saying before my camera turned off, I really enjoyed this episode, and I hope it carries on like this. It was very mixed and mashed together, I have to admit, because it was like then the first 5 minutes of each story at once for every episode of these 6 episodes in this first episode, but I don't mind that if we get the revolutions nicely in 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we do know the names for these next episodes, which are War of the Suntarans, Once Upon Time, which I think that's a bit of an iffy name. I'm not a fan of it, because we had Twice Upon a Time being Peter Capaldi's last episode. Now we have Once Upon Time, or Once Upon a Time, or something like that. You know what I mean? And I'd rather had a different name for it. If they could have, like, I don't know. Do you know what? I'm just gonna go and do this. Well, there we go. The coming of the Trefalisia. They could have called it the coming of the storm, or the flux. The coming of the flux. They could have called it. There we go. That's a good name for you, Chibnall. Coming of the flux. And definitely don't use the flux is coming. That's not there, but use the right spelling of coming. You know which one I'm saying. Use that one. So yeah, overall, really good episode, and hopefully it will stay like this. Because I've got my fingers crossed that this will be a good series at last. Because we've been very deprived of good episodes since Peter Capaldi left, and hopefully we'll get some good ones. So thank you for watching. Please watch out for my next 2 videos coming out, which one is a very weird one. One I just found out that I'm making, and I'm making it straight away. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later. I've been George. Goodbye.